What's going on, YouTube? Everyone knows we're in a recession, and today we're going to figure out 3 easy ways to future-proof your portfolio for success in 2023. But before we do, I want to ask everyone to take a minute to subscribe. Go ahead and ring the notification bell when I add new content. But without any further ado, let's get into it. So we all know the recession. We're in one. What do you do? How do you get your portfolio right so you're not taking massive losses either in the equity market or from being over-rotated in one specific area? So the first thing we need to talk about is, what is a recession? So this is the definition I came up with, but pretty simple. It's a period of time where consumer confidence is down, unemployment typically rises, disposable incomes fall, and businesses experience decreased sales and production as a result. In other words, recessions aren't fun. No one likes to lose money. For anyone that has a 401k, you've looked at your 401k recently, it's definitely went down. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that a recession is all bad. Most people think that it is. There's definitely ways to profit from it. And that's one of the things we're going to go over today. So, first step, buy dividend stocks. It's kind of a given, but if you're new to this and you're new to investing, dividend stocks are a great way to offset inflation and offset declining asset prices. So, if you look at something like a venture capital fund or high-flying tech stocks, they've just been absolutely hammered. Snapchat this year is down 90% year to date, and I know Facebook as well as Google have all been down double digits. So in this case, while growth investors are running for the fences, you can collect passive income. So dividend compounders list, these were all able to raise dividends during the 2008 recession, which is quite an accomplishment. And those are some of the stocks that I'll give you at the end of the presentation today. It should be noted, though, that just because a stock has a dividend, pays a dividend, doesn't mean that you should invest. Why? We'll get into that. Number 2, things to look for when you're actually picking a stock during a recession. So you want to focus on these 6 things, these 6 items when you look at a stock. Small amounts of debt, so you don't want a balance sheet that's bloated with a lot of debt. Healthy growing cash flow, so you want a fairly low PE or price to earnings ratio. What does that mean? Price to earnings means for every dollar you're paying to own the stock, you're getting $1 of profit. So for instance, Coke might be a 20-to-1 P to E ratio. That's pretty good. Something like a Tesla used to be 1,000 to 1. So you're paying $1,000 today for $1 of profit tomorrow. That's not good from a price to earnings perspective. The quick ratio, ability to pay off short-term obligations. So typically, the longer you hold debt, the more interest you're paying on it. It goes back to being able to pay off obligations, whether it's from a credit crunch or whether it's from debt outstanding. Next, products people need regardless of income. It kind of goes without saying, people need toothpaste, people need toilet paper, people need paper towels, food, gas. Go around your house. Look at what, for toilet paper, look for paper towels, look for toothpaste, toothbrushes, deodorant, shampoo. Those are all things we need. I get it. It's not sexy. It's not something that you want to talk about. It's not it's not the next AI company. It's not the next Tesla. It's not the next SpaceX. Totally understand. But you need these things. And this is where looking even around your house to things to invest in can really help you offset the recession. The next one, brand awareness. So again, we all have heard of Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, 3M. If you haven't, I'd suggest you stop living under a rock and go out into society. But brand awareness in this case, so when you think of performance shoes for the NBA or athletes, you probably think of Nike. When you think of planes, you probably think of Boeing. And when you think of fast food, you think of McDonald's. Same thing with brand awareness. So brand awareness is key here. I just mentioned one, Coke. When you think of soda, pop, depending on what part of the country you're in, you probably think, hey, I'd like a Coke, not a Pepsi. That's where brand awareness comes in. And last, a level-headed CEO. The CEO definitely needs to be able to keep his or her head on a swivel during a recession. People are freaking out. Balance sheets can be bloated. You oftentimes get activist investors coming in looking for a way to out the current CEO, depending on what he or she is doing. Having someone at the top can really help calm people down. I've always said attitude is a reflection of leadership, and having that stability at the top during an emotional time like this, not just financial but emotional, can really help. Stay away from buying companies that need massive amounts of capital for R&D. I mentioned this a minute ago. So you have a high-flying AI firm or a new genomics firm right now that's looking to, continue to sequence the human genome or fight a new type of cancer. Those are very cash-intensive businesses. And that means it's going to be a long time before they're cash flow positive, meaning they're going to be carrying a lot of debt on their books for a considerable amount of time. They also don't have brand awareness. They're in very early stages. Likely, they're going to get crushed. So stick to the large companies, at least until we rotate out of this recession. And the last one, understanding your time horizon. So again, I've talked about this in some of my other videos. How long do you want to invest? If it's 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, forever, do you want to buy, borrow, die like Warren Buffett? It depends. If your time horizon is forever, 20 years, 10 years, whatever, buy the dip. There are stocks and equities today that are trading at 90% off. If I came to you and said, hey, there's a house down the street, it was $1 million a year ago, now it's $100,000. Nothing's changed, but it's on sale. Would you take it? Most people probably would. They'd at least look at it and say, all right, let me look at the fundamentals of the house. Let me look at the market. Let me look at the location, the comps, etc. And they possibly would make a deal and purchase that house. It's the same thing here. These stocks are just assets. And when you see an asset go on sale, you tend to want to look at it or at least purchase or load up. However, for some reason, someone could walk up to your house, tell you your house is worth less. You would say no, you wouldn't sell it, or maybe you wouldn't buy it. But when it comes to stock, you say the same thing, and people still continually run away. They don't want to buy when things are low. I would caution you against that. Buy the dip, buy as much as you can afford to, given your time horizon. All right, so here's 6 recession-proof stocks you want to consider. Microsoft, I think everyone knows what Microsoft is. They have a pretty good dividend. They've continued to up their dividend for the last few years. I don't see Microsoft going away. I don't see their tech going away. Yes, I know you look around your house, it's not a consumer staple like the rest of these stocks on the list here, but Microsoft has continued to impress me year over year. Procter & Gamble, another commodity stock where you're looking at things around your house, toothpaste, deodorant, whatever. Procter & Gamble's got their hands in just about everything. You could also substitute Johnson & Johnson in there. That's another great one. Number 3, 3M. 3M makes adhesive tape. They make bonding strips. They make just about everything inside your house to glue it together, as well as a lot of things that you wouldn't think of. So take a look at them. And the last 3, Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's. Walmart, obviously, one way to judge an economy is look at the parking lot in Walmart and see how many cars are there. That'll help judge what kind of quarter they're having. Walmart's done a great job in the last few years of getting their digital presence up and online, and I think it's really going to compete well with Amazon Prime headed into 23. The last 2, Home Depot and Lowe's, people want to stay in when there's a recession. People aren't buying homes. People aren't vacationing. What did they do during COVID? People started to remodel their house. They either added a part to their house, they added a guest wing, they remodeled an office, they added a pool, whatever it is. Home Depot and Lowe's have held up very, very well, and they do have great dividends. Okay, so in conclusion, what should you do? Recession-proofing your portfolio is about owning quality businesses that create products people need every day. I think we all know that. Buy what you know. I always tell people, buy what you know in 2 sentences or less. Meaning if you get stopped on the street and someone asks you, why do you own X? Within 2 sentences, you need to be able to tell them exactly why. If you can't, don't own it. Also, a couple things. What can you not live without? So you can't live without food. You need food, water, shelter, toilet paper, paper towels, deodorant, toothpaste. Again, what pills do you take? That might be another one. Think of something like a Express Scripts or the Amazon pharmacy option. Figure out what products would change your life if you didn't have them. What would you absolutely cut if you had to? You had $100 and you could only spend $100. What would you spend it on? My guess is something like Netflix or Amazon Prime or Hulu would go away. And the durable goods from a consumer discretionary standpoint would start to step in. Those are the stocks that will survive a recession, not the small caps. So stick with the large caps, and don't worry about things such, like I said, in gene therapy or artificial intelligence. And finally, just invest accordingly and keep building your portfolio. That's all I got. It really doesn't have to be that difficult. Drop me a comment. Let me know what durable stocks you're investing in. Let me know what you're doing during the recession. And if you are buying, let me know what it is. All right, take care. Bye-bye.